women, in many cases, women, you can see they're professional agitators. I had one the other night. I had 4 the other night, all in one group, total phonies. I started to scream when I got into a restaurant, oh, you know, something with Palestine. And I said, well, I'm doing a great job for peace in the Middle East. I should get lots of awards for that, right? With the Abraham Accords and everything else. But a woman just stood up and started screaming. And she got booed out of the place, too. The people, there were a lot of people in the restaurant. I went there to show how safe, and it was safe. I mean, the woman is just a mouthpiece. All she was a paid agitator. And you have a lot of them. And I've asked Pam to look into that in terms of RICO, bringing RICO cases against it, criminal RICO, because they should be put in jail. What they're doing to this country is really subversive. Yeah.
The fascist president has announced he wants RICO charges brought against Code Pink protesters for standing and yelling at him and saying nasty things about him, you know, because he's a sorry ass. This is what Donald Trump was bitching and crying about.
Trump is the Hitler of our time! Free DC! Free Palestine! Trump is the Hitler of our time! Free DC! Free Palestine! Trump is the Hitler of our time! Free DC! Free Palestine! Trump is the Hitler of our time! What do you want your legacy to be?
Let's go.
What do you want your legacy to be? He's terrorizing communities in DC.
Time to go.
He's terrorizing communities
Time to
all
go.
over the world.
Time to go.
From Puerto Rico.
Let's go.
Free DC, free Palestine. Trump is the Hitler of our time.
Donald Trump and his band of elitists in their ivory towers tried to have this photo op in Washington, D.C., and these Code Pink protesters showed up in the restaurant that his dumbass was going to and surprised him. And now he wants RICO charges brought against him. Hey, his former personal attorney, his former personal attorney, who's now his deputy attorney general, who's running, our Justice Department, he went on CNN and he had the nerve to say this about it.
As you know, RICO has been used to go after like Al-Qaeda, MS-13, the Gambino family. How would something like that protest fall under a RICO charge?
That's not what we use RICO for only. RICO is available to all kinds of organizations committing crimes and committing wrongful acts, not just organized crime or ISIS or terrorist organizations. And so it depends. So is it, again, sheer happenstance that individuals show up at a restaurant where the president is trying to enjoy dinner in Washington, D.C., and accost him with vile words and vile anger, and meanwhile he's simply trying to have dinner? Does it mean it's just completely random that they showed up? Maybe, but to the extent that it's part of an organized effort to inflict harm and terror and damage to the United States, there's potential investigations there. And that's what the president was saying yesterday in the Oval Office, and what he also has said in the days before that as well.
These women stood there and screamed, "Free DC, free Palestine. Trump is the Hitler of our time." And this sorry ass called it inflicting harm and terror. They accosted him with their words and anger. Wow, these guys are weak. Do you think any other foreign leaders can see this guy complaining about 4 or 5 women standing there yelling and holding out a Palestinian flag, and his feelings were so hurt that he's going to try and trigger RICO charges on them? Because, Todd Blanche says we can use that for anything because this is a fascist administration. I thought you heard we're fascist.
But were those women in the restaurant inflicting harm or terror or damage by protesting the president of the United States? I mean, they were just shouting basically in his vicinity.
I mean, repeat what you just said. I mean, honestly, so you're asking whether there's damage done by 4 individuals screaming and yelling at the president of our United States while he's trying to have dinner. That can't be a serious question. That cannot be a serious question. I mean, it's true that there's a difference between shouting and committing an assassination,
there were supporters outside
which is what happened to Charlie. Well, it depends. There's nothing wrong with peaceful protests, and nobody has ever said so. Of all the people in this country, President Trump knows exactly what it's like to have people protest against him. But what he's talking about and what the administration is talking about is organized efforts by individuals who are not present at the protests, but they're funding these protests, and they're not protests. They're inflicting damage and harm and actually assaulting officers. They're damaging vehicles, and that's the conduct that we're trying to stop.
See how it built into all that bullshit? You see that pile of shit that piled up next to Todd Blanche's head? He said, repeat what you just said. You said, is there harm being done by women that stood and screamed in Donald Trump's face while he was trying to just have dinner? Okay, let's repeat it. Those women were harming and terrorizing the president by protesting in front of him. We repeated it, and it still doesn't make any sense that you said that that's harm and that's terror. But you see how quickly they related it right back to Charlie. They're going to keep using whatever happened to this guy as a crutch for their violence, for their lawlessness, and for their crackdowns on people's First Amendment rights. It's right in front of you. But then, of course, when you get pressed with the very slightest bit of pushback, it's no one said that protests are illegal in this country. Motherfucker, you just said that protests are illegal in this country because those women that were protesting apparently needed to be brought up on RICO charges. That would make it, illegal in this country. This wasn't any kind of like a formal event where anybody's coming and there's some foreign leaders or something. They have these national security threats. And oh my God, look at these people protesting, which by the way, they can do that too. But it's not even that. The harm was he wanted to go have dinner and have a photo op. And state media like Laura Ingraham was all over it.
Fox News alert, Donald Trump is out on the town. Dinner with members of his cabinet in D.C., showing it's safe to walk around the city after deploying the National Guard. Crime, as we know, has plummeted in the city.
No crime we don't know has plummeted in the city. What we know is the city's on lockdown. That's what we know. And they're looking to make it permanent. That's what the fascists wanted versus what he got. So therefore, he was very, very upset about it.